video, we're going to put the tools in context because tools do matter. We're not going to talk a lot about tools, but we should put them into context and understand how we use them, how we relate to them, and why they benefit us. First is, like a set of training wheels, they provide some structure and stability as a training method. How do you learn how to be a better problem solver? Well, besides practice and coaching, which we'll talk about more, the structure of a tool kind of gives us some guardrails and some next steps to allow us to learn in a structured way. And so throughout training of problem solving, having a tool makes it that much easier. Next is as a job aid. So once we are trained, having that job aid provides a reminder, especially for where we're weak or where we forget. It provides a little guidance, a little structure. It kind of helps make it easier to remember what we should do, what we should think about, and especially overcome things that we might naturally forget. This is particularly useful for people or organizations that need to spend a little more time studying the problem before they jump to solutions, a very common problem. So having the structure of a problem-solving job aid helps us avoid that mistake. Also, it fundamentally provides a standard which gives us some consistency and makes collaboration easier. So when we do engage in formal problem solving, having a consistent standard through which the whole organization can use provides that consistency for coaching, for reading, for reviewing, for giving input, and especially when we come together for a collaboration. Now, if you look at all the problem-solving tools out there, it's really hard to say that there's one best method. Many of them have different strengths, different weaknesses, but how do we choose it? Well, quite frankly, the most common method is our familiarity. Whatever we were trained on, whatever we become comfortable with, that's the tool we go to time and time again. Is that the only reason we should make that choice? Is that the only criteria is familiarity? For me, that's A3 problem solving. I've used A3 for over a couple decades now, and so that familiarity makes it my comfort zone. But really, it should be our fit, the fit with the problem, the fit with the need, that allows us to pull different problem-solving tools into our process. But this only works if we develop competence with a wide range of problem-solving tools or competence beyond the problem-solving tools. Now think about all the different problem-solving tools that are really out there. We'll start with just trying stuff. This is really how we sort of grew up as problem solvers, is we just try stuff, see if it worked. And there's a lot of reasons that's not the best method, but sometimes there is a lot of merit in that. Of course, we all do this every time we have a computer glitch. We restart our computer. Right? That's trying stuff. That is not a scientific method. There's no structure behind that, but that's the one we go to time and time again. We should acknowledge it's part of our problem-solving repertoire. There's also domain-specific, right? Whatever your background is, it could be engineering or medicine or marketing, and those domains, those expertise, teach us how to solve problems within that domain. There is underlying structure and thought process that goes behind that. Now beyond that, there's all sorts of problem-solving tools that we can pull out of books or out of courses. Early on in my career, I learned Kepner-Trago, which is a structured, formatted way in which people can solve problems that has great templates and structure underneath it. Total Quality Management brought us the 7 quality tools, which continue to find life today as effective help in our problem-solving efforts. DMAIC became popular with Six Sigma as a structured way to go about it. Trees was a problem-solving method that really took lessons from nature and helped us to create new solutions to old problems. 8D became very popular as a tool to help us contain problems, especially as quality escapes between suppliers and customers. Design thinking has become incredibly popular over the last several years as a way to think more creatively, connect better with a customer, experiment and iterate. And of course, returning to A3 and some of the many derivations underneath that, including 8-step, which has become popular through many courses and books lately, which isn't how Toyota, where it comes from, originally learned, but is how they've added to structure over the years. So there's all sorts of those, and I've learned all of those, and I encourage others to learn those as well. But the point I want to end on is I really encourage organizations, teams, companies to build their own problem-solving tools. Now, you might start with that library of tools that already exist. I'm not suggesting you all start with a blank sheet of paper and build your tools from the ground up. But whether you do that or you take a tool and you iterate the design, I believe there's tremendous value in building your own problem-solving tools. Now, that might seem like extra work and not learning from where other people jumped off, but by tearing apart and putting back together those problem-solving tools, we learn a lot about how they work and why they're put together the way that they are. I remember back when I was an automotive engineer, one of the first things they had me do was go to mechanic school and learn how to tear apart and put back together a transmission. That taught me an awful lot about how transmissions really work, what can go wrong, and what's important in the construction, the assembly, the design of a transmission. The same thing is true of problem solving. By sort of deriving our own tools, we become smarter about how problem solving tools work and why they work. So we're not going to throw away our problem solving tools. This whole course is about going beyond our problem solving tools. But we have to recognize the value they provide and understand that there is no one best method, but there's a lot to be gained from the library of tools that are out there.